A few weeks ago, a video was sent to me by a parishioner describing certain people who had formed what they believed were friendships with OpenAI. That is more perhaps better known as ChatGPT. Some individuals even described feeling abandoned or heartbroken when the systems changed or when the company changed the algorithms or updated the algorithms. Others tragically spiraled into real emotional distress because they had begun relating to these programs as if they were friends. Now, AI is powerful, it's useful, and in many ways it's impressive. I use it all the time. But a tool is not a friend. This is a tool. It's about as far as it'll go in my hand. This is a tool. These are tools. AI is a tool. It cannot ever be a friend. Even more disturbing, after I preached the 5 o'clock Mass last night, someone sent me a headline that read, "Japanese woman marries ChatGPT created AI persona." Now, the Japanese government has not recognized this as a legal marriage, thanks be to God. But still, it's the idea that somebody has done this. You know, you probably have heard people marry themselves. Good luck, you're going to have good company. But what's really disturbing, or where we need to probe this, is the question behind all of this, and that is, why were these people treating OpenAI as a friend, or even more serious, as a spouse? Why are these people confiding in this? The answer to this question reaches into the very deepest hunger of the human heart, a hunger placed there by God Himself. It is a longing for real friendship, real connection, real love. Real is the emphasis, real. Isaiah, the prophet, shed light on this in a reading read for midnight Mass, when he says, "The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light." Now, darkness is not just a place, but rather the condition of the human heart. It is the burden of feeling unseen, unheard, unloved. It's loneliness, isolation, the ache, and it's a real bona fide ache of the human heart to be loved. Into that darkness, God sends not a concept, not a philosophy, and certainly not an algorithm, but a person. He sends a person, a child, a son, and a friend. Isaiah would refer to him, or refers to him, as Wonderful Counselor. Not programmed advice, but wisdom with a human face. Mighty God, power that does not dominate, but rather lifts us out of our misery. Prince of Peace, peace that no artificial system can ever simulate. AI may reflect words back to you, and many times that's exactly what it'll do. As you feed the algorithm, it'll actually just give you back. It's kind of like the programmable version of, if you know anything about psychology, Rogerian psychology. You get back what you give. It's constantly reflected back to you. Jesus reflects to us the Father's love. And he said this, referred to this when he spoke to St. Thomas, his disciple, and he said, "Thomas, do you not know me after all this time? To have seen me is to have seen the Father." Now, they're not the same person, but he reflects the Father's love to us. Unlike algorithms that tell us exactly what we want to hear, Jesus tells us what we need to hear. And it's not to shame us, but rather to set us free. Because even though the truth sometimes hurts and is uncomfortable, and perhaps we want to resist it, there's a part of us deep down inside that knows that only the truth can make us free. And we want to know at least what's true, and then deal with that. The shepherds are the first to hear this divine invitation. The angels proclaim to them, "Fear not," because true friendship drives out fear. I bring you news of great joy, because true friendship is a joy in one's life. And you know this if you have a true friend, a friend that you can trust, that has your back, as we would say today in common language. And then the angel says something that is truly astonishing. "This will be the sign for you, a baby wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." The sign of God's love is a child, a baby actually, an infant. A God who becomes vulnerable and small so that we can approach him without fear. Because God's friendship is for everyone, not for some elite group, not for only the super strong or the super good, but his friendship is for everyone. The lonely, the weary, the overwhelmed, the guilty, the searching, the skeptical. You, me, everyone. Artificial intelligence can respond to our words, feed back to us what we have trained the algorithm to say, as I mentioned a moment ago, but it cannot give you its heart. It cannot suffer for you. It cannot have compassion, which is to suffer with. That's what the word means, to suffer with. It cannot die for you. It cannot forgive you. It can say the words, but that's not enough. We need it from a human person, or even more so, a divine person. And it cannot love you. But Jesus can. Jesus did, and Jesus does. Today is not about sentimentality or nostalgia. It's about a God who wants a relationship with each and every one of us, with you. A God who refuses to let you settle for artificial substitutes, which every generation has been subject to, but it's off the charts today with the accessibility we have with all the devices and so on. Remember, the crib is not a cutesy thing. The crib is not cute. It's really confrontational. But not in the typical way you might think so. The crib really confronts every lie the enemy whispers at us, and many times, frequently or all day long, especially when we're down and we're more susceptible to all sorts of temptations. The lies are, I'm alone. My life is of no value. Why do I even exist? Not as a question, but as a self-condemnation. My life doesn't matter. I have to manufacture my own peace. And this leads to all sorts of cascades into all sorts of problems in our life. The crib says, you matter infinitely. You are loved completely. You are not alone. I came for you. The takeaway this week, I really encourage you to think about this for the adults, is be intentional where you seek connection, because our heart longs for connection. It longs for connection. Technology can assist your life, but it cannot love you. This Christmas, ask, what can I give Jesus for his birthday that he does not already have? So what can you give God, who made the universe out of nothing, who can make anything he wants out of nothing? What can you give God this Christmas? So I can't give him anything. Actually, you can. Because you can give him right now something he's given you, and he will not take it back from you until you freely give it to him. Your love. Your sins. If you have them, he wants to take them away. Your heart. Your time. He will not steal it from you. All sorts of things. Your worship. First part of the day. There's all sorts of things that we can give to God that he does not have right now from me and from you. So don't think that you have nothing to offer him, that he doesn't want anything from you. He really does. So really try to be intentional and renew your friendship with Jesus during this Christmas season. Spend time with him in prayer. Try 15 minutes. Be on the clock. Set your alarm. 15 minutes. I'm here. Not moving till I'm done. Just open your heart to him. Just sing it all out, as it were. Takeaway for young people is don't settle on fake connection when real friendship is being offered. I say this to people a lot, or I try to convey this to them. We can only be saved in the real. We cannot experience happiness in the fake, right? In our fake imaginary world. Because in that fake fantasy world, it's always about me, me, me. My pleasure, my wants, my desires. Nobody ever says no, which is actually not pleasant. But nobody ever calls me out in my fantasies or imagination. We can only be saved and loved in the real. Jesus became real for us. So apps, algorithms, screens occupy a lot of your attention. Not just the young people, but all of us struggle with this. But they cannot love you. And it's important that we actually engage in healthy self-talk. They cannot love you. They cannot forgive you. They cannot give your life meaning, like real meaning. Jesus knows you completely, and he chooses you anyways. And this will never change. You can never do anything that will turn him off. He'll always be there waiting. So talk to him honestly. Give him your love, your time, your heart. Invite him into your life. So AI is a tool. Treat it as such. Jesus is very real and wants a relationship with you, with all of us. He says, you are loved and you are so worth it. You are so worth it. I'm here to prove it.